The Gentleman of Style Show.
For those who don't know, tell us a little bit about the educators that travel. How'd you come up with that concept?
The educators who love to travel.
Love to travel.
Don't leave that out.
Who love to travel. Excuse me.
Get it right.
There was a time, probably, I don't even know when it started, maybe 2016, that I decided I wanted to travel more. I had been an administrator for several years, been an English and a social studies teacher, and I knew that many of my colleagues were talking about world history, teaching world history, and didn't really see much of the world. And I started inviting people to travel. And I think the first place we went was Costa Rica or something. And so it started from me wanting to bring my fellow educators along to look at these different places that we were teaching about. We were learning, students were learning about. And so now when you stand in front of the class and you're talking about Liberia or Kenya or wherever, you have a different kind of perspective that you're sharing. Or even if you haven't gone to that particular place that you're talking about, you've been to some place similar, or at least on that continent, or, so that's really where it started. The cruise conference started because I heard about what attorneys were doing. They were going on these cruises, taking their families and getting the training that they needed to get to keep their license renewed. And so at the time, I didn't know of anything like that for educators. And so I said, well, what if we could do, instead of me going to Vegas for this training and not taking my family, let me go on this cruise and get the same type of professional development while we're cruising. And basically, the educators who love to travel is like the umbrella, and then the cruise conference is part of that. So we do an annual cruise, but we also go other places. So the cruise conference is however many days the cruise line has. So people ask, is it a different price? It's pretty much close to the price of the cruise at this particular time, because we use the days at sea to do professional development. And so the idea is that it's an exchange, it's networking, it's professional development, it's building our professional network so that you have other people from other places that you can count on, you can collaborate with. The other part of that is when we have a destination. Like last summer, we went to Morocco for 2 weeks, and we went all over the country, and it was absolutely amazing. We had a professor from Syracuse who was able to come and use that as part of her research. We had principals and classroom teachers alike from all over come on that trip, and we got to see the inner reaching areas of Morocco, way more than the typical things that we saw thanks to our guide. But it was having that 2-week time to really bond and share experiences that are probably life altering. We got to eat with a Bedouin family, in the Sahara Desert. We got to go to Marrakesh. We were all over the place, and it was really a wonderful opportunity. And this year we're going back to Costa Rica. So the educators who love to travel, I'm talking about it on Facebook all the time, but that's really what it's about. It is about a network. It's a movement, if you will. And there are tons of travel groups out there, but this one is for educators and entrepreneurs. Similar to the book, it's pulling those people together, and a lot of educators are actually also entrepreneurs, and so it gives them an opportunity to kind of test some things out. I'm a PE teacher, and I'm thinking about starting a yoga studio. So I go on the cruise, and then I pitch my idea, and I get some feedback, and maybe I even get some clients, or I'm a social studies teacher, and I'm selling, I can't think of this thing that so many people sell, is some kind of jewelry. You don't know what I'm talking about.
You talking about the $5 jewelry?
It's a little inexpensive. I can't think of, so they may come and then, they talk about what they're doing. We just have a number of things that happen. I'm hoping that Miss Robinson, Summer Robinson, who is my daughter, the owner of Silver Bangles, I'm hoping that she's going to come. She went last year, that she's going to come this year, and she's talking about how to write a memoir. And so there are so many people that they want to tell their story. Well, she can help you tell your story, publish it for you, and help you market it, So it's all of those things kind of wrapped up with suntan lotion and swimming and margaritas, So it's a great experience.
On the cruise, are they able to get certifications, or is it just personal development?
Right now, they're not.
Okay.
We're still working on that. I've been talking to a couple of people at the State Department on trying to move in that direction, but right now it's just professional development for them and networking.
Yeah, I had the same question because my wife, she does those CMEs and everything where they go to a destination, they do the conferences, but you get that certified credit toward,
Right.
Yeah. And everything, but you just answered it.
And it's interesting because in Georgia, there was a number of years that the continuing education credits were suspended. So that was another one of the problems. Like right when I started, it was suspended and you didn't have to get it. And so the state wasn't issuing it, but now it's coming back. No, it wasn't even because of COVID. This was from like 2016, 17, 18. I'm not sure of the reasons why, but it's back now. And so now I have to basically navigate and find out, well, what is it that we need to do in order to do it now that it's still not a mandatory requirement, but at least it's coming back as an expectation.
Let me ask you a question. You know how like colleges are accredited and all of that type of stuff? Is there a real possibility because of what you do and the number of professionals that you interact with in your program and what you do, in order to get what you do accredited? It's like if you come and you do stuff with me, you have the level to accreditate what they do or what this is. So it's almost like a higher level of interaction. Have you looked at anything?
I haven't looked at that. I asked a similar question about like an endorsement of some kind because I'm a reading specialist and I'm like, well, if I taught the endorsement courses, can they get endorsement? And it's not enough time on the cruise for that because usually it's 50 hours or something. But it doesn't have to end. It can start on a cruise and then continue. So I probably should circle back because I kind of put that on the shelf for a while. But
so it's a real thing. That's a real thing.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, because you can get an endorsement there. ESOL endorsements and special education. Now there's dyslexia, which is a big thing in Georgia now, a big focus. And so even though a lot of the work that I do through the LaVoulle group, which is different, focuses on those things, it's not leading to an endorsement because it doesn't have the time commitment.
Can you explain the LaVoulle group? Like, explain it so everyone knows.
So the LaVoulle group is my consulting. When I came back from Abu Dhabi, I really wanted to launch the consulting that I had done for years kind of haphazardly. And so the LaVoulle group is the umbrella that houses all of the consulting. So most of my consulting is for classroom teachers. There's also consulting workshops for pre-service teachers and for school leaders too, but the majority of it is for classroom teachers. Most of it focuses on literacy, writing, reading focus. So early childhood, early literacy, this focus on structured literacy, dyslexia and reading. Now we have some workshops that of course combine hip hop and structured literacy, focusing on, characteristics of dyslexia, but it even includes a focus on new teacher development, which is like a cohort of new teachers at a particular school that stays with them for the first 10 months, their first full year, like a monthly check-in with them. online support for them, but it does everything from classroom management to whatever their content is, to teaching them effective and practicing with them effective ways to communicate to parents and all of those things. So that's a type of work that is done through the LaVoulle group. So that's the LaVoulle group.
Now, do the teachers tap in with you, or do the school system send them to you, or how does that work?
It's usually not the teachers because they usually have to get permission from a principal. So, for example, a principal may have 1, 2, or 10 teachers that they think could benefit from some support. So the principal or their designee would contact me, and we would customize support for those particular teachers. Sometimes it's a 1, 2, 3 day workshop. They may say, well, I want all of my teachers to focus on writing across the curriculum. So it may be a 3-day workshop, 3 different days where we would come into their school and work with all of those teachers, or all of their reading teachers or writing teachers or something like that. It may be professional development. Almost every large district at this point has professional development days. So it may be us going into the school on those professional development days and doing a number of different things. So it's usually pretty customized based on the school improvement plan, which every school pretty much has some type of plan. They may call it a CSIP, they may call it school improvement, but it's the plan that they have come up with to address any concerns that they have. And so if their concerns involve reading or literacy or writing or social emotional learning or anything like that, they call us up, and we come and we support.
Nice. That's nice.
Top 5 hip hop artists. Go.
Rakim, Nas, T.I. I like, who else?
That's 3.
Queen Latifah still. And Sharap.
Who?
Sharap.
Who's that?
She's a local artist. She's here in Atlanta. Yeah, I'm a big fan of hers.
S-H-A?
S-A and then hyphen R-O-C. Well, look her up.
Sarah.
Yeah.
She's a rap?
Yeah. She's tough. She's tough.
Huh.
If I could rap, that's what I would sound like. She has a raspy voice and everything. Yeah.
So she reminds you of who you would be.
Who I would be. Right.
All right. Top 5 R&B acts.
Ooh. That's a little bit harder.
Yeah, I like
Kim.
Okay.
K-E-M.
I still love Anita Baker. Raheem Devon.
Okay.
Joe.
Okay.
Joe?
Joe.
I forgot about Joe. I like Joe.
And what's my last one? Who?
Will she say it? I don't know if she's gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. You have to say it. I'm not gonna say it.
I don't know. I feel like who do I really, really like? Jill Scott.
Okay.
Jill Scott. Yeah.
Jill Scott.
I love the list. Go on and ask your question. You itching. I know
What
you itching.
question?
You know what it is.
What is it?
Stop being coy. Don't do
What
it.
kind of question you talking about?
It's R. Kelly.
Oh, that's mine.
You messed up. I gave it to you. See, what did we just talk about? If you play around with it, you miss out. You didn't take action. So
That is my question.
that is the question.
Is R. Kelly's the king of R&B?
He was.
He was.
Past
Really?
tense. I think R. Kelly's music was. I think the creator gives everybody something,
Right.
and he gave him music.
Oh yeah.
Period.
Without a doubt.
He didn't give him some other things.
Why do you say was, though?
I mean, because I don't know if you can maintain that status considering the other choices that you've made in life and what you're going through. I don't know that.
What if we separate?
I don't know. Can we?
Personally,
Can we?
I can.
Okay.
In this sense. I've never hung out with R. Kelly. I've never known the man. I don't know artists. So with your music, based upon what you do musically, I can listen to your music and enjoy you and not even like you, even if he didn't do what he did. There's artists out there that I like their music, but I don't like them, period. But I like their music because they have something to say that doesn't always. It's like when you create something that's not necessarily like R. Kelly's one of those people that can create for each individual if you bring him to him. He can create for something for Michael Jackson, then go
Right.
to Celine Dion, then go to Big Boy, then go to. So he has the opportunity, kind of like what Kanye West can do. If you give him an artist and you say, "I need to do something different for you," he can create that for you. But I think sometimes we get so caught up in the celebrity and thinking that we know these people when we really don't. I know what your music is. I don't know what you do when those doors close or when you're not in the limelight. Kind of what Diddy's going through right now. You know, we looked at Diddy. He was like, Diddy was getting keys to the city and all these great things was happening for him. But then all of a sudden people were saying he did this and I don't know what the man did. All I know is the conversation. But it's can we take away from, you know, what he brought with Biggie? Can we take away from, you know, the things that he did with Total or Mary J or all of these people? Because if we do that, then we have to strip a lot of things away. Because, you know, a lot of these guys are responsible for a lot of great things that happen in music. So I look at it that way. I'm not talking about R. Kelly as the person, but as the music and the catalog.
I think we're not afforded, for the most part, we're not afforded that luxury though. I think that some people, some politicians, for example, there are things that can be separated for them. But the two people that you mentioned, Diddy and R. Kelly, they don't usually get that luxury, whether that's right or wrong. You know, I'm thinking about like Michael Vick, you know, or you can name a number of people who have done great work and then they did this other thing and now they kind of fall from grace. We get judged very harshly for things, you know, very harshly. However, like I said, you can't take away that music. I think that is what the creator gave him. Right. I'm sure if given the opportunity, he could continue to make great music because I feel like that's a gift.
How do you feel about, and I meant to ask another guest this question, but how do you feel about if they gave him a studio in jail right now and said, just do your thing, just make your music, you ain't getting out, but do your thing? Would you listen to it?
Would I what?
Would you listen to it? Because, you know, everybody went through the whole, you know, cancel, don't put it on the air, we're not dealing with the music. Why?
I mean, I don't know, because I'm trying to get over why would you do that anyway? Why would you give him an opportunity to do that? You know, I feel like people should be given a second chance, but you're not at the place to get the second chance. You have to serve the time that you're supposed to serve. So just like other people who were vilified in the public, like there's a certain amount of time and then maybe it dies down. So I'm still trying to get over that could even be a possibility. So would I listen? I don't know. I mean, good music is good music, and we don't really know the story behind most creators. We don't know. All we know is what they've allowed us to find out publicly.
That's true.
I mean, you can name anybody. You don't know unless you know them.
Right.
You don't know them.
Right.
You know, it's when we have these unsung shows, we find out a little bit more. Like, you never knew this person had all of these things. They were a drug addict. They did this and that. So you never know any of these people. All you know is the music. And so if you just talk about the music, we know that the music was very powerful, period. But you cannot get over all of these things because people won't allow you to get over that. Like, it was so heinous and in your face that you can't not see it. Like they say, you can't unsee it. You can't not see it or hear it, even if you didn't want to. So that's very hard to walk away from.
Let me ask you this. Given that statement, so given what, you know, everything surrounding the R. Kelly thing, right? So you got that. But then we look at someone, and, you know, I'm big on not just really bringing up people's past mistakes after they've gone through it and dealt with it. But then we look at other artists out there who've done things that we know that they did, or at least that they've been a part of, and maybe they're acquitted at trial, even though technically we probably know that they did it, or they know that they did it, but they got acquitted at trial. But we welcome them back in the fold, and they continue to excel, versus someone who actually went to jail, got out of jail, and then they start to excel. So I'm kind of, I guess my question is, where is the, I guess, is there a line? How do, where's the, in our culture, because, in our culture, we love you until we don't, right? So when you doing your thing or whatever, we love you. But then when you do something and you were right there, it's like me and him. If we doing something and he was right there with me,
I ain't doing nothing with you.
And then it goes south, and I'm looking around, I'm like, where did he go? He doesn't disappear. Like we'll disappear in a heartbeat. But I guess I'm trying to figure out that line based upon, I can commit a murder, get acquitted, versus everything that, again, I wasn't with him on nights and days or whatever people say, and then people have different stories and recanting and who did this and who did that, and then all the conspiracy theories. So it's just the thought of, yes, he's supposed to serve his penance, but even lawyers, let's say crooked lawyers go to jail, and then in jail, part of that penance or part of that redemption is they're doing legal advice, or they're working in the library, but they're doing something, they can't practice law, but they're doing something with their craft, or they're teaching a class. So I guess in that same sense, with someone as talented as he is, he could literally show people, that are about to get out, how to engineer in terms of music, how to, do certain things within the music industry as part of that program. If you're trying to rehabilitate people, who better than from a dude who was on the highest, given what he did, we ain't talking about what he did, but, music, writing, maybe even a music writing class, all of these different things that you say you want to have people to come through your system and have a chance when they get out to do something better.
That's an interesting question, and I'm going to respond by saying this. And I know this is probably not a popular thought, but I don't feel he should do any of that. I feel he should get the help that he needs, like academically, emotionally. He needs to heal, right? So instead of you continuing to help build the music industry, he had that on lock. I think he could come out tomorrow and pick up where he left off in terms of his talent. But is he healed? Has he gone through the therapy and support that he needs to deal with his childhood traumas?
Right.
Has he learned to read? Has he learned to figure out different ways to make Robert better? You know what I mean? I feel like that's what rehabilitation really should be about, And I am not a fan of the prison system in any way, shape, or form. I don't know how it helps anybody.
Right.
I really don't. But if there were some way, then that to me seems to be what the time needs to be spent for, because I don't think the other part needs anything. I think that part is pretty secure. If you think about most people who end up in situations, it's because of something that happened from, birth to 12. Something that happened during those years that need to be addressed and dealt with in order for things to be better for the rest of their lives. So I feel like that's where we need to focus. And I don't know much about what happens behind bars, but I would imagine that that's where the work is. For him and for probably everybody else too.
That's a good answer. Not sure that they're doing that for him, but
I'm not sure either.
I mean, he's probably getting something up in there, I think when you mentioned he probably really needs to learn how to read, for sure, he's spending that time. I mean, I don't know. I would think that would be like a priority. You got mad time in here.
I mean, I don't know, but I do know this. We have so much talent in our community.
Yes, we do.
And working in a high school, I saw some of the most talented people I feel like in the world come through MLK High School. But sometimes we got so caught up in their gift that we forgot the other parts of them. Oh, they can run, you know, their band talent musically, they're this and that. But what about the things that needed to be supported that wasn't part of their gift? It's like we got blinded by the gift. And I feel like we do a disservice when we do that, because especially when they're young like that, they need these other things, and nobody thinking about that, because you can, play these drums or make this beat or whatever else you can do, but it in the long run, does that help you?
Right. Okay. Yeah. Wait, what did I get?
That's it for me.
Yeah, that's about what, an hour?
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm satisfied.
So, of course, this is your camera right here, right over here.
Okay.
So, if you want to say something inspirational, or you want to let people know where they can find you, also tell them about your cruise. There you go.
Okay. So, I definitely want everybody to know about the LaVoulle Group. We are an international consulting company. So all school systems, particularly charter schools, we offer professional development support, and you can find us at info@lavoulegroup.com, and LaVoulle is LAV as in Victor, OULLE group.com. And I want to invite all of your listeners, particularly to the Educators Who Love to Travel Cruise Conference, because we always have a bunch of women who travel, but never enough men who travel with us. So we are definitely looking for gentlemen with style to travel with us, and we are traveling in 2025, June 28th through July 6th. That information is available on Educators Who Love to Travel on the group page. And also the conference is going to be March 8th, and it is the Read, Write, Rhyme Conference, and we want all Metro Atlanta teachers to sign up and attend. We want principals and superintendents to attend. It is not a hip hop conference. It is an education conference that talks about how hip hop can be utilized and maximized in the classroom.
You heard it.
There it is.
Get there. Get there.
Get there. That's it.
All right, heard your business.
Okay. There's a saying here at the Gentleman of Style show: there is no excuse for good taste. Because here at the Gentleman of Style show, me and this guy right here,
Us? Okay.
believe in better. Until next time.
Peace.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That was fun. Oh.